Good morning. I'm Keith B, and I'm trapped inside of a time loop from which I cannot escape. But enough about me. I'm here to tell you about Kazuya Mishima. A lot of times we say Kazuya is like the pure example of the Mishima style. I think it's because he relies the most on the iconic Mishima move, the Electric Wind God Fist. By the way, my electrics are not good. I'm not the main man. Like, I can do them, but I'm not very good at them. So feel free to get mad at me in the comments. I don't mind. I know my electrics aren't good. I know my wave dash is kind of... Well, my player 1 wave dash is okay. My player 2 side wave dash kind of sucks. I'm not a Mishima player. Anyway, the electric is the iconic Mishima move, making Kazuya being the one who relies the most on electric means he's kind of the iconic Mishima. What the heck is the electric, you ask? Well, it is a launcher, as you saw. It is -10 if you don't do the just frame version. If you do the just frame version, it is +5. You can see my opponent is -5. That means I'm +5. So Kazuya can frame trap off of this at the wall. In the mid screen, it has a good amount of pushback. By good amount, I mean a lot. Which means if they press anything, you can whiff punish them. So this thing it's a +5 launcher that, when done with perfect execution, comes out in 13 frames. You don't have to be a rocket science to figure out why that's good, right? Now, the other thing Kazuya has going for him is the wave dash, right? Which is when you do a crouch dash, a Mishima style crouch dash, which is forward, neutral, down, down, forward, which looks like kind of a dragon punch input. And then you cancel that into a forward dash by tapping forward, and you just kind of do that over and over. And if you speed it up, you can look like Ryan Hart or, I don't know, whoever else plays Kazuya. His wave dash can also be, when you're wave dashing, by the way, you can do electrics. You can do any crouch dash move. You can also do any while standing move. Like I can just do a while standing forward, which is also good. So he wave dashes, he has electrics, he's a Mishima. I'll tell you this though. Even though Kazuya is like really straightforward, he's kind of just like a hard-hitting character. He's got these really iconic lows that just kind of mess you up. Really good launcher. He's got one of those shortest move lists in Tekken. And of all the characters in this game, of all the crazy, gimmicky Eddie Gordos and Ling Xiaoyus, the character who friends of mine who came over from 2D games get mad about, and like, you know, I'm talking like breaking down on the Discord call, like controllers broken over. It's this guy. And that's because Kazuya is actually a vortex character, which is something that has been kind of removed from modern 2D fighting games. It's still here in Tekken, but it has a twist. And I'm going to tell you what that is. I'm going to tell you, if you've been hit by this, if the thing that made you click on this video was you got hell swept, and then you got hell swept, and then you ducked and he hit you with this, and he did some Twitter combo on you, boom, and he did the Twitter thing, okay, and then you die. So if that's what brought you here, I'm going to tell you how to deal with that. I'm going to tell you what you have to do to deal with it. I'm going to tell you how you deal with this ground game that he can do on you, where you tech roll into another mix-up. I'm going to give you options, and hopefully we can save some broken controllers, we can save some tears, and we can teach some people about Kazuya Mishima. Before I get too far into this, I do want to remind everyone to not forget to subscribe to the channel. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, which is pretty cool if you ask me. I know it's not a lot compared to, like, you know, people have millions of subscribers, but I didn't think I'd get to 1,000 this quick, so that's pretty neat. And YouTube says when I get 1,000 subscribers, they'll give me a medal, and if I don't do it, then they're gonna kill me. Please save me. Alright, so I mentioned Kazuya's mix-up game, I mentioned his vortex, and I mentioned there's a way out, right? So let me just show you the thing that happens. This is the thing that happens. You eat this, and then he dashes up again, and he does this, right? And then you eat this, and then he dashes up again, and then I'm bad. Eat this, he dashes up again, and he does this. He could also do 442 if he wants to do a heat engager. So you're like, okay, tech roll, duck. Got it. I got it. I'm solving the mix-up, right? Tech roll, duck. And you're like, I can beat Kazuya now. I figured it out. Is he not? He's doing the mid. He's just like, doesn't want to do it. Tech roll, duck. Oh, no. And then you die. So, eating this 50-50 is not actually what you want to do. What we want to do here is a couple of different things. First thing we can do is we can tech roll and move left. I would recommend side walking, but you can actually... Whoops, I didn't mean to tech roll right. We want to tech roll left, by the way, which is going to be punches on player one side. So, tech roll, sidestep. Right? I can tech roll and sidestep. I can tech roll and side walk. And notice the mid and the low both miss. That's great, right? So, cool. Now, if that was all there was, this video would be very short, and we would just be moving on to punishment, and all of our lives would be easier fighting against Mishimas. But that's not quite all there is, because he doesn't have to just do 2 wave dashes. 2 wave dashes sets him up to hit you as soon as you tech roll. But every time you move in Tekken, you auto realign. Like if I'm unaligned, how do I unalign myself? If I unalign and then I dash, I realign. If I'm over here and I dash, I'm realigned. So anytime we're off axis, moving will bring us on axis. Like when we're here and I dash, see how he turns? So every time we wave dash, as a Mishima player, every time the Mishima player wave dashes, he's realigning. So if you tech roll and you sidewalk, he is realigning to you. That's why at high level, especially in like Tekken Tag 2, where sidestep and backdash were super strong, there was a lot of this going on because they were like doing this and seeing when are you going to move? How are you moving? And it was like this and then like this. And like they weren't pushing buttons in that game. They were just moving around. And people said it was boring. And now we got moves like this in the game. No, move like this. That's a different video. We'll make that video another day. Anyway, this one is going to be about how to fight against Kazuya. So if I just were to go ahead and mix here and then do a bunch of wave dashes. So I did more than 2, right? And look at that. My side timing was not correct because when he did the dash thing here, he's realigning to me. So I have to guess, you know, when he's doing this, I could swing into him if I wanted to, because he can't, you know, he can block out of wave dash, but if he's going to keep dashing, then he's not going to block. But as long as what you have to basically do is, what I'm doing is I'm sidewalking on the one before the one where he does the mix-up. So the second to last dash cancel, if I don't do that, then I'm going to get hit. That's how you deal with Mishima wave dash. If you just sidestep left and then he realigns to you, you're going to eat the sweep. So you have to know how many he's going to do, or you just say, I don't want to play this game with you, Mishima man, and mash out of it, right? You can mash out of it. And one of the good ways to mash out of it can be wake-up kicks. Now, I say can be because they're a little bit scary. The wake-up kick that I use is kind of like a... If they're just going to wave dash at me, I will toe kick, which is down 3 on the ground. Now, the problem with the toe kick is he can actually launch you for this. So, use the toe kick sparingly, but know that it does get out of a lot of Kazuya's Oki options, right? The other thing about Kazuya is he doesn't have to go for a hell sweep or a 4-4-3 or a 4-4-2 here. He could do something like this, because boom, boom, I tech roll, and then eat this. And this move, by the way, hits grounded. So, like, you used to be able to just stay on the ground against Kazuya, but they decided that his Oki was somehow not good enough. So this is going to hit you on the ground now. It's not the worst idea in the world to just let him hit you on the ground and then go about your day to get out of the vortex. And in fact, I mix up all these options of tech roll, sidewalk, I mix up toe kick, and I mix up stay on the ground, eat the grounded hit, and then go about my day. He can kill you for any of these. So you really have to actively play the wake-up game and understand your options for getting up against Kazuya. And that's the real reason why new players get obliterated by Kazuyas. All you Kazuya players who clicked on this video to see what I'm going to say about your character, welcome, first of all. And secondly, you guys have been torturing players from Street Fighter and Guilty Gear and, you know, all these other 2D series for, like, the better part of 15 years. And, like, you know, it's kind of cool. It's just a unique thing because 3D movement and the unique way that waking up in Tekken works, where it's not really a vortex, but it's kind of a vortex because you do have to make a decision every single time, and if you're always making the same decision, then Kazuya can just kill you. I think it's pretty interesting. I think it's pretty fun to play against, and like the fact that movement is the counter to it, I think is really cool. But I understand why new players who don't fully understand the systems just get frustrated. So hopefully, if you're one of those new players, now you've got some armed stuff to deal with Kazuya's Okazeme. Hell Sweep is not the only thing he gets Okazeme off of. Obviously, like, he can Hell Sweep you from, like, really far away, so you constantly have to be aware of it. He also gets Okazeme off of his 10-frame Punisher, which is hit confirmable 1-1-2. He can get Okazeme off that. Now, again, same thing stands here. You can Wake Up Kick here. I don't mean that one to do 1-1-2. You can Wake Up Kick here, but also he could bait the Wake Up Kick and then kill you with a God Fist. So it's a dangerous game anytime Kazuya Mishima knocks you down with his Hell Sweep or his 1-1-2. He's also got Oki combo enders, but usually the Kazuya players have pretty good execution, and they're going to use that to try to get the wall. I don't know his combos in Tekken 8, but I know that they take you to the wall pretty consistently. And he's got pretty good damage output. He's got pretty good wall combos in this game. Nothing, like, broken, but just in general, Kazuya is a pretty hard-hitting character because he doesn't have a ton of strings. He doesn't have a ton of, like, canned mix-ups. He's all about using his wave dash and his electric and his hard-hitting mids to set up timing mix-ups and just kind of win at almost just like rudimentary Tekken. That's kind of how I would describe Kazuya. The other thing about him is he lacks pokes. His jab is godlike, don't get me wrong. Like 1-1-2 knockdown into Okazeme. Sign me up for that on all my characters. But the thing he doesn't have is like a down 4-1. Like his down 4-1 is this. Okay? This is down 4-1. It is 15 frames. It's 15 frame Punisher. So that's not a very quick poke. It can be a nice little poke. He has a 14 framer with his back too. But the thing with that is on block, it is -8. So he can use some extensions there, like if he wants. But he's got an unsafe mid and a high. So, you know, basically a 14 frame -8 mid is his best mid poke. He does not have, well, actually his best mid poke is going to be his while standing 4 out of crouch dash. Whoops. But aside from being execution heavy, that can be a little slow to come out, like if you're trying to get someone off of you. And that kind of is the problem with Kazuya, is it can be hard to get someone off of you. You got your jab, you have your electric, which is an incredible counter hit tool because it's just fast. If you have the execution, it comes out in 13 frames. It can come out in like, you know, 14 to 16 frames in the hands of like most of us mortals. But still, that's fast. If you got a 15 frame electric, that's pretty good because, again, this is a very, very good launcher. Now, the other thing he has to get people off of him is down 4-2. Down 4-2 is 14 frames, and on counter hit, he gets the iconic perfect electric combo that I can't do. But yeah, 14 frame homing counter hit launcher. So this solves two problems, because problem number one, everyone's moving left against you as a Kazuya player. Problem number two, you can't get anyone off of you. This fast mid, that's scary, counter hit, and homing. Minus 12 on block, though. So, that's, you know, I'm going to bring this up again in the punishment section, just to reiterate how crucial it is to punish this. But that is key. Punishing the minus 12, because he just doesn't have good, safe mids that are fast. And because of that, you know, Kazuya embodies this 50-50 wave dash mix-up based play style. In the mid-range, which I normally talk about first, but in the mid-range, he has his electric, obviously. And the electric I mentioned, it's a launcher, right? He can try to counter hit you with it. It also has really good recovery, so he can play keep out with it. It is an amazing whiff punisher. Look at the range on it. He can also dash into electric. He can wave dash into electric. He can do deep dash. It's like a pizza that comes in every variety. This thing, if you do anything against a good Kazuya player, he's going to electric you. Don't whiff against this character. So the electric is like a Swiss Army knife that covers basically everything Kazuya wants to do. And like whenever I play Mishimas, I'm always like, well, I should probably just electric more. And then when I electric more, I start winning. And if I can't electric that day, like my electrics are kind of weak today, I don't win when I play Mishimas. So I don't know if that's true or not. That's just my experience with the character. But it does a lot of things, and Kazuya doesn't have other tools to fill. He's very, again, a basic move list, very short move list. So the electric is, you know, a very, very crucial move for him as a keep out tool, as an approach tool, as a whiff punisher, as a pressure tool. It just does everything. Counter hit tool. And so you're going to see a lot of it in the mid-range. Much like everything else he has out of crouch dash that's not a homing move, you sidestep it to the left. It does have some tracking, but mostly to the right. So sidestep left, especially if you played Tekken 7 when electric had crazy tracking. Be thankful that now we can step electrics fairly reliably to the left. That's great. And he's got a couple other things he can do. He's got this nice, this thing. His forward 3, which is a nice little, kind of like a advancing mid poke. He has a nice little counter hit on knockdown. He also has his 442 Demon Paw, which is super good in this game because it is a heat engager. Well, 442, you can also sidestep it, but be warned that in Devil mode, this move has better tracking. And in fact, Devil mode Kazuya in general is just like powered up. He is way stronger than normal for that's just kind of his design. He's designed to activate his heat and go crazy. He also has a low heat smash while we're talking about heat. So you see there, I did sidestep left, but it clipped me. So a lot of his moves also get these like canned animations. Oh, I don't know why he did the power crush. They get these like canned animations in heat. So a lot of his moves just do these throws on hit now. Like that 442. And notice it doesn't end his heat. It just spends a little bit of it. So his heat, his ability to play neutral and do damage in heat is much better. Because this 442 is great. As a mid that does that, that's safe. Like, this is great. And then, you know, when he's almost out, he can use his low heat smash, which does a bunch of damage. He also has a powered up version of his hell sweep that he can go for. Yeah, has a powered version of the hell sweep in heat, which again doesn't end his heat. So he can use some powered up moves and then cash out his heat smash or his heat engager cancel. So his heat mode, very strong. Key punishment for Kazuya. 112. This move is -17 you can launch it. Hell Sweep, staggered punish on block. You can launch that too. I mentioned this already. Down forward 2, minus 12. You're gonna block this a lot if you're playing careful against Kazuya. And when you block that, you're gonna punch. I myself will block this and not punish it sometimes. I actually drilled Kazuya just the other day because I played a Kazuya and didn't punish this move. So practice it. It'll give you, you will definitely win rounds off of this punish, I promise. This is a new move, mid heat engager. It's meant to be kind of like a ranged whiff punisher for Kazuya, like a mid one. Minus 19 on block. Like, even I can almost electric it. I can't quite electric it. If I was good, I could electric this thing, but definitely launch this thing. Figure out what your punisher is. It has a little bit of pushback. Figure out whatever your punisher is and kill this man for doing it. Because Kazuya players have been throwing this out. The game's like 3 months old now. We got to start punishing this. Thunder Godfist, aka Crouch Dash 1. It's minus 16. Sometimes Kazuya players will use this as a mid mix-up option at the wall because it does wall splat in like kind of the same way that the Hell Sweep does. But minus 16, so definitely get a good punish on that. Like, again, I don't have good electrics. Kazuya is devastating while standing 2. You will sometimes see this as a option out of Crouch Dash because it is a homing launcher. That's mid, so it covers a lot of options, but it's minus 18, so definitely go ahead and punish that. Alright, his back 3 series is kind of an iconic gimmicky move. You have to low parry the 3rd hit of this. That's how to deal with it. Otherwise, you're guessing as to whether or not he's going to do the final hit or not, which is, you know, not the worst thing, but just learn the animation, low parry the 3rd hit, and then you never have to deal with the strain. Similar thing here, his 1, 2, 4, 3 is jab into a low mid, not natural combo. The mid's minus 2, so he can play like funky minus 2 shenanigans off of this. You don't want to deal with that, so just low parry the 3rd hit. Alright, last of his goofy strings is his up forward 4 sequence. I occasionally see a solid player get hit by this because they just forgot to lab it. What you're going to do is, if you see him do this jump, you're going to do a down back. And when you block that down back, you can just launch him. That's the only thing you have to do here. If this hits you, you can still down back. So just down back, and boom. There you go. There's plenty of other unsafe moves that he has, but those are like the main ones that I think are relevant and like will get you the furthest in early to mid ranks. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you next time.